The cyan light from the copper plate washed over Jaina's face, turning the workshop into a world of electric shadows. Blagoya reached out, his hand trembling slightly as he pointed toward the door. "It hasn't glowed like this since the Great Flood," he whispered, his voice thick with a mix of fear and reverence. "The city remembers what we have forgotten, Jaina. You must take it to the river. The stone bridge is the anchor, and this plate is the key." Jaina didn't hesitate. She grabbed a heavy linen cloth from the workbench and wrapped the vibrating plate carefully, though the blue light still pulsed through the fabric like a heartbeat. The warmth of the metal seeped into her palms, a strange, comforting heat that made her pulse quicken. She felt a sudden surge of purpose, a connection to the ancestors who had hammered their dreams into the very foundations of Skopje. They stepped out into the night. The old bazaar was transformed. The usual quiet of the evening was replaced by a low-frequency hum that made the shop windows rattle in their frames. Blagoja walked beside her, his cane clicking rhythmically against the cobbles. The air felt charged, as if a great storm was about to break, yet the stars above were sharp and clear against the Balkan sky. When they reached the bank of the Vardar River, the sound became a roar. The water was dark and churning, reflecting the lights of the modern city, but the stone bridge remained a silent, gray sentinel. Jaina stepped onto the first ancient block of the bridge. The moment her foot touched the stone, the plate in her arms let out a high-pitched chime, harmonizing with the wind. Near the center of the bridge, a young man sat on the stone ledge, his legs dangling over the rushing water. He held a long, wooden kaval to his lips, playing a melody that seemed to weave through the hum of the city. He didn't look like a typical musician. He wore a worn traveler's coat and had an air of someone who had walked many miles between worlds. He stopped playing as Jaina approached, his eyes fixed on the bundle in her arms. "You're late, Jaina," the man said, echoing Blagoja's words from earlier. "The river has been singing for an hour." He hopped down from the ledge with effortless grace. "I am Zoran. My family has guarded the songs of the Vardar for generations, just as yours has guarded the metal." He stepped closer, his gaze shifting between Jaina and the glowing bundle. "The stars on your plate and the stones beneath your feet are finally in alignment." Jaina slowly unwrapped the plate. The cyan glow was now so bright it reflected off the surface of the Vardar below, creating a shimmering path of light on the water. She held the plate out over the railing, as Zoran had signaled. The vibrations were so strong now that her entire arm shook, but she didn't let go. She could feel the history of the bridge, the millions of footsteps, the wars, the celebrations, all flowing into the copper. Blagoya watched from a few paces back, his hands resting heavily on his cane. He looked older than he had in the workshop, his face etched with a profound sadness and a flickering hope. "Do you hear it, Jaina?" he called out over the roar of the water. "The bridge isn't just stone, it's a bridge between what was and what could be. Don't be afraid of the song." Zoran began to play his kaval again, the notes sharp and piercing. As the music hit the glowing plate, a section of the bridge's masonry began to shift. It wasn't a violent movement, but a smooth, mechanical rotation of the ancient stones. A hidden seam appeared in the central pillar of the bridge, revealing a narrow, spiral staircase leading down into the dark heart of the structure. Jaina looked at the dark opening, then back at Blagoja. He nodded slowly, a silent encouragement. She turned to Zoran, who stepped aside to let her pass. With the glowing plate acting as a torch, Jaina took her first step into the hidden depths of the stone bridge. The song of the copper was no longer a hum, it was a beckoning call from the very soul of the city.